What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content, mostly related to PvP. And if you're a returning subscriber like KedgeZ, thank you for the support. In today's video, we are taking a look at some battles in the Love Cup featuring a team with Sylveon, Electrode, and Magcargo. So when I was building this team, I didn't really think that Sylveon would have a lot of play with all of the poison and fire types. However, what I did notice in the early meta is that many people are not using Magcargo, at least in this elo range at 3200 plus, and the most popular safe switches are Electrode and Lickitung. As a result of this, my thought process was that Electrode as a safe switch is often going to lure out the Medicham. This will keep it away from the Magcargo. Now, if the opponent swaps out into Lickitung, we'll be able to counter that with Magcargo, which is a pretty decent response to Lickitung. If they swap out into Electrode, Magcargo also covers that very well. If they bring in the fighter, Sylveon is able to farm down, and then Medicham is probably the other most popular safe switch. No one is really going to be swapping a Medicham as a safe switch into a Sylveon lead, so we should be pretty safe from that. So that was my thinking behind this team build. We'll see how it performs in this video. If you guys enjoy this type of content, please consider leaving a like on the video. It really helps the channel grow. Leave a comment down below. And without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. So jumping into these battles, you may notice this team looks quite weak to Magcargo. From what I've been seeing, a lot of people are actually not using Magcargo in this elo range, so we should be pretty safe from that. Ariados lead here is very bad for Sylveon, so we're going to swap out into the safe switch, which is Electrode. Going to take that lunge, and the opponent brings in a Lickitung. Going to build up to Hyper Beam. Of course, we are debuffed at this point. And the Lickitung is going to finish us off here with the Body Slam. Now, from this point, I'll come back in with the Sylveon. My plan here is to completely farm down. Look to get a shield after with the Side Shock on the Ariados, and hope that the opponent is weak to Magcargo in the back. Because they're leading Ariados, they'd have to be ABA weak, so that is a bit unlikely. And more likely than not, they're going to have a pretty hard punish for Magcargo in the back, so this is looking like a loss. And of course, it is a Lomo Mola in the back, so pretty much a triple, not triple hard counter, but a very difficult team comp to see in the first matchup right here. I'm staying in to see how these matchups play out in case we run into them in the future here, but this game is obviously over and there isn't any way we're going to come back from this one. GG's, we lose that first game running this team, so off to a rough start. But let's hop into the next battle. We got Sylveon into Crustle right here. Now this is a pretty nice lead to see, but the main objective with this team is to lure out the Medicham, so it sort of operates ABB even though it doesn't necessarily have these same weaknesses. But because Medicham is one of the more difficult counters to see with Electrode, that's what you want to lure out here. Keep it away from the Magcargo and play from there. The opponent is going to throw another X-Scissor. I did figure we would survive, and thankfully we are able to undertap, get to this move. Obviously with a 4-turn move like Volt Switch, it can be difficult at times to not overtap. But thankfully we're able to do that. And we also farm down with the Sylveon before they reach another move. Magcargo comes in, Wigglytuff in the back, opponent doesn't want the smoke, backs out of that matchup. We bounce back 1-1 after 2 battles. Sylveon into a shiny blue Electrode, absolutely beautiful right here. Opponent swaps out into Ariados. We're going to come in with the Magcargo. Now, considering how quickly they swapped out and coming in with a poison type makes me think they may potentially have a second Pokemon weak to Magcargo in the back. Could be double poison, in which case Electrode might have some play. Keeping Electrode away from the Ariados is obviously very important. And their own Electrode comes back in here. Actually go for the Rock Tomb, expecting the potential shield, but they decide to no shield, so really regretting that decision right there. Wish I went for the overheat now, but we do get farmed down. Going to come with Sylveon, Magcargo in the back. This is pretty rough here, especially with a little bit of lag. And hopefully they didn't get too much energy there, hard to tell, but we are going for the discharge. Opponent is going to shield that up, and I was expecting the potential Rock Tomb here, but overheat actually lowers their attacks, so this is actually a little bit better for us because maybe now Sylveon has a bit more play. It's still a horrible position to be in, but the main issue here is that the Electrode left with 2 moves stored. So all the opponent wants to do here is actually get our final shield, at which point they'll swap out and throw back-to-back discharge at the Sylveon to win the game. So Rock Tomb comes through, they get the shield, and now they swap out into Electrode. Gonna get the first shield with the discharge. They do have 2 moves ready, and that's going to win the game. So very well played by the opponent right there. GG. Let's hop into the next battle. So hopping into battle number 4, 1 and 2, pretty rough start here in this first set of battles. We see a Slowbro, which is a pretty solid pick for this meta, a decent matchup for Sylveon in general, but once again we are going to have to swap out into Electrode here, and finally we lure out the Medicham. This is what we're trying to do with this team. Gonna go for the discharge here after building up to the Hyper Beam, and that is going to get the shield. Now if it's a Power Punch, we could reach another move, but with Dynamic Punch, there's definitely no chance of that. So we do get taken out. I'll come in with the Sylveon here, of course. Not going to shield anything. Take this shield advantage. But I am going to throw the Side Shock here because I need to keep some HP on the Sylveon for the Slowbro. Obviously, at this point, Sylveon is my best answer to Slowbro, so I want to keep it healthy. And now I'm going to shield up this Psychic. Try and commit to the farm down if they stay in and they actually swap out at the last second to keep the Slowbro alive. This chip damage is nice though on the Electrode. Come in with the Magcargo right here. I'm going to throw the Rock Tomb. No shield the first move. We don't have to worry about the Hyper Beam because of our Rock typing. And I'm going to go for the Rock Tomb right here, lower the attack. And I'm not sure if we could farm down here. I mean, we probably can, but I'll have to shield up. Foul Play comes through. In this particular matchup, you definitely want to be going for Discharge over Foul Play if you have Discharge available. Unless you're running like Hyper Beam plus Foul Play, Discharge is going to be doing slightly more damage than Foul Play in that neutral matchup. Sylveon into Lickitung here in the final battle of this first set. I'm going to swap out into Electrode right here, and once again, luring out the Medicham. Going to build up to the Hyper Beam, throw this Discharge once again, and the opponent is going to shield, so trying to call the Power Up Punch bait right here, and maybe we could reach this Hyper Beam before the next move. This puts the opponent in a really rough spot because if you do double shield, we have a Sylveon after to come in and basically farm down the Medicham, so they are going to allow that to go through. Come back in with the Lickitung. Electrode wins switch in the 0 vs 1 shields. Absolutely insane. Power Whip comes through. Going to throw the Rock Tomb right here at the Lickitung. And we'll have to see what this opponent has left in the back. We are able to get to this next Rock Tomb right here. So let's see if the opponent wants to use their final shield. They decide to let that go through. And it's a Galarian Slowbro. This is actually really bad news. Gonna throw the Rock Tomb here to lower the attack on the Slowbro so that Sylveon potentially could survive these poison jabs a little bit better. We have 2 shields here. The opponent is actually at 2 Sludge Bombs, able to double shield and just commit to the farm down with Charm. And we're going to be able to take this game. So a 3-2 set right there. Able to salvage it after a 1 and 2 start. Good enough to bring us to just about 3240 elo. Let's jump into set number 2. So jumping into the second set of battles, a pretty decent start so far with this team. Sylveon into Shadow Slowbro, which is actually a very solid pick for this meta. I'm going to swap out into Electrode, and once again, luring out the Medicham. I'm going to build up to the Hyper Beam. Very important to build up to the Hyper Beam here. But this time I actually go for it, and they no shield. So at this point, I decide to shield in case there's a Psychic, but it's actually Ice Punch. And I think we could survive this, but I'm not 100% sure. So I did decide to double shield. And I kind of hate the position we've put ourselves in here because now we did take switch, but we're down 2 shields. They're not going to bring Slowbro into the Electrode, obviously. So I'm going for the Hyper Beam here against the Lickitung. Maybe get 1 shield, but things are not looking good. Swap out into Magcargo. Slowbro comes back in. I'm going to throw the Rock Tomb here, but things are not looking great at this point. They no shield. Unfortunately, they should be able to knock us out here with a Psychic. And they actually don't, which is even worse because they get an extra confusion. I'll come in with Sylveon, able to farm down, but down a shield right here against a Lickitung. This is a very bad spot to be in. Body Slam, very spammy, and of course, it's dealing a lot of neutral damage. So Sylveon is going to go down here. Electrode just doesn't have enough HP to do anything. I mean, we throw a Hail Mary here with the Moonblast, hoping they no shield, trying to flex with the shield, but obviously they do not. And Body Slam going to take us out here, so we lose this game, off to an 0-1 start here in set number 2. Let's see if we can bounce back once again. Comeback team right here. Hopping into the next battle, we got Sylveon into Wigglytuff, so battle of the Charmers. And I swap out into Electrode, and the opponent also swaps out, so obviously if I knew they were going to swap out, ideally I'd want to bring in the Magcargo right here, but we both had the same idea in mind. And this is actually a pretty rough matchup for Electrode. This should only be a cross poison, I believe, so I do no shield. We just barely survive. And I wish I clicked the Hyper Beam, but thankfully they do shield anyways, so it doesn't make a difference in the end. But if they did no shield, obviously it would be a regret. So Magcargo comes in here. Unfortunately, this thing is so spammy that it's going to get to 2 lunges, so I'm going to let the first one go through. And I actually decide to shield the second one just in case they have like a double poison team plus Wigglytuff in the lead. Magcargo is going to be very important, so I'm going to throw an extra Incinerate here over 100 energy, which was a mistake. And now Overheat comes through. Wigglytuff decides to no shield. Going to get to a second Overheat right here. And Wigglytuff going to no shield once again. So we actually are able to farm down before they reach the next move. Talonflame comes in. They may have been switch locked right there. Rock Tomb going to force the shield. And this is still pretty bad because Sylveon, in case it's a Brave Bird, we have to shield this up. I know we could survive one Flame Charge even after being boosted, I believe. So as long as we survive this and get off this Side Shock, hopefully it will be enough to knock out the Talonflame right here. Side Shock coming through. Not able to KO, but the Charm is able to register before the Incinerate. Able to take that game. 1-1. Let's hop into the next battle. Sylveon into Magcargo right here. One of the worst leads to see with this team. So we're going to swap out into Electrode. Electrode has a losing matchup against Magcargo as well. Most of the time they are going to swap out. Sometimes they'll look to debuff with Rock Tomb first before switching. So I'm going to shield in case it is the Overheat. It's actually Stone Edge, and they bring in their own Shadow Electrode here. So I'm going to throw the Discharge. That's going to get a shield from the opponent. And we're not going to shield anything here. We lose CMP. If they take us out, it is what it is. Discharge comes through. Didn't think I would reach the Hyper Beam, so I'm actually just going to go for the Discharge here. It might have been CMP anyways. And as you can see, I don't think we would have got to the Hyper Beam. So in the end, it doesn't really make a difference. Come in with Sylveon. This could be a Hyper Beam, but because they have Magcargo, I cannot shield this because Sylveon's pretty much useless right here. I'm going to swap out into our own Magcargo. And they come in with Sylveon. So I'm going to throw the Rock Tomb. It's basically the mirror team here, except with opposite leads. So obviously that benefits the opponents here greatly because they won lead and they're going to go for the Stone Edge or the Rock Tomb. Are they running Rock Tomb plus Stone Edge right here actually? I think they are. So Rock Tomb comes through on the opponent's Magcargo. And we should be able to win CMP. I'm not really sure how we lost CMP that first time because we do have 15 attack. But I put my faith here in our Magcargo. And we need to outpace. I tried to catch the move onto Sylveon. Not able to do it because Incinerate is such a slow move. We do get farmed down. Very unfortunate game right there. I think we definitely had a chance to win that. But considering how difficult of a lead that was to come back from, I'm pretty pleased with the effort there. And I think that's the sign of a good team. Coming back from a lead like that, making a matchup close. Sylveon into Druddigon here, obviously the dream situation. And this is a pretty amazing switch to see as well. Looking like hard counter city right here. Electrode into Alomomola. I am going to shield up this move right here just to ensure we keep alignment. Wasn't counting, could have been a Hydro Pump. I think we actually might survive Psychic there, to be honest, but wasn't aware of the counts. And keeping alignment is obviously a lot more important because they have a Druddigon. So we're going to build up to the Hyper Beam here. Bait with the Discharge. That's going to get the shield. Now we're going to get some nice chip damage here with the second Discharge. And then come in with the Sylveon. I'm expecting them to swap out immediately into whatever is in the back. And it happens to be an Ariados. So here comes Magcargo. Triple hard counter. Nothing the opponent could really do there. Unfortunate for them. GG's. Let's hop into the next battle. So we got Sylveon this time into a Slowbro from 2021. So a little bit outdated right here. This is actually a pretty decent matchup for Sylveon, to be honest, but I'm going to look to swap out into Electrode. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to time it, so they go for the Psychic. We're going to shield it up. And I'm actually going to stay in here and commit to the complete farm down as a result of not catching on Electrode. And they bring in a Medicham into Sylveon. So whatever is in the back must be extremely weak to Charm. I'm going to go for another Side Shock here. I'm just praying it is not Double Fighter because my backline is going to struggle a bit. But Medicham is basically done here. We're going to no shield this potential Psychic. And they swap out into Scrafty. So it is Double Fighter. This team definitely did not want to see Sylveon in the lead. But this is pretty rough for us right now. So I go for the Discharge, swap out into Magcargo. My thinking here is that I could get this low enough to the point where a Overheat will actually be enough to KO. So I'm going to no shield once again here. Can't be a foul play. It's actually an Acid Spray. And I over tap on the Overheat. You have to be kidding me. Absolutely throwing that, which means we're going to go 2 and 3 in this set. Could have easily been a 3-2, but the over tap fail. Ox noobs in the chat. Let's hop into set number 3. So jumping into the third set of battles, and we are leading Sylveon this time into a Medicham. So this is a dream lead to see. The opponent's going to swap out into Electrode. We should be instantly coming in with the Magcargo, but for some reason I decide to over farm here, which really doesn't benefit me in any way, and it just makes this match against Electrode a lot more difficult. So going for the Rock Tomb here, opponent will probably shield us up, and they're going to be able to actually force both of our shields if we want to keep alignment. And obviously we need to keep alignment here to keep the Sylveon on the Medicham. So they do reach another move here. Going to double shield, and we are going to be loaded on energy. I'm going to throw the Overheat blindly, and they actually come in with Talonflame, so I'm really hoping they think this is a Rock Tomb, and thankfully we do get the shield. We're going to get to another Rock Tomb here on the CMP, but they make a great swap out into the Medicham. Going to come in here with the Sylveon. They are switch locked. I'm going to try and commit to the farm down here, just so I could throw a Side Shock at the Talonflame. And ideally, I would like them to throw their Flame Charge so that I don't get off this Side Shock. Get them dry in energy, and then come in with the Electrode. And from here, I think one Discharge should be enough to KO the Talonflame. So thankfully for us, we are going to be able to survive this move right here. And that's going to allow us to take this game, provided the Discharge KOs. Bang! There it is. Talonflame gets taken out. We take that game. 1-0 start here in set number 3. Hopping into the next battle. We got Sylveon into Scolipede. Absolutely horrendously to see right here. So I'm going to swap out into the Electrode. And they come in with Scrafty. Now this is pretty much the same thing as Medicham for the most part. So you're okay luring this out. As long as it's not like Double Fighter in the back. That would be pretty horrible to see with this specific team comp we're running. Discharge comes through. I can't believe they actually no shielded that. So Hyper Beam could have won a switch and basically won this game. But we'll get a shield out of this anyways. They're going to farm us down. We'll come in here with the Sylveon, tank whatever they throw. Now we're not going to be able to get to a Side Shock, so that's a little bit unfortunate. I tried to swap out into Magcargo to get an energy lead, since I know we're going to have to swap out eventually anyways, but wasn't able to do it. Electrode comes in here. This is playable for sure. Going to throw the Rock Tomb, lower the attack. We have 2 shields here. I think we just need to double shield the Electrode at this point. And we can't really farm down, which is unfortunate, so we're not going to be able to have a move ready to go on the Scolipede, but I am going to double shield here. Throw another Rock Tomb because I don't want to lower my attack just yet. And not able to get any extra farm here. Scolipede comes in. We get to the move, but it's CMP tie. Do we survive this move right here? Sludge Bomb able to hang on. Overheat coming through. Bang! There it is. Scolipede gets taken out. Very impressive win there. Coming back from a poison type in the lead against our Sylveon. And speaking of tough leads, here is another one. Magcargo. So a lot of tough leads in this video. Going to swap out into the Electrode. And once again, luring out the Medicham. So this is what we want to see. Again, build up to the Hyper Beam. Go for the Discharge this time. You could also go for the Hyper Beam, but in this case, we do go for the Discharge. Going to no shield, it is the Power Up Punch. and I am going to go for back-to-back discharges here. It's actually a little bit shocked that they did not shield the first time, and we actually end up taking switch advantage in these 0 shields. Now, that doesn't really benefit us here, and I noticed they're actually running a rock type fast move, so it could be Smackdown or Rock Throw. I'm not really sure what the move is, but it's obviously a rock type move, so that means our Magcargo has a really poor matchup here, so I need to actually come in with Sylveon instead. This is pretty awful for us, and obviously a rock type fast move Magcargo is a huge core breaker to this team, because then our own Magcargo isn't even really an answer. So I decide to let the Sylveon go down here, come in with the Magcargo, going to win CMP here on the Rock Tomb. And this will likely get the final shield, but you could see they are doing so much damage to us with the fast moves. And at this point, I just want to see what they have in the back. Did we make the right call? And it is a Wigglytuff. So technically speaking, if they're running Incinerate instead of Rock Throw, maybe we had a chance there, but we are going to lose that game. We can't come back from all of those difficult leads. We're going to lose a lot of them. So 2-1 heading into the next matchup. We got Sylveon into Medicham. A nice bounce back right here for us. Opponent swaps out into Lickitung, and here comes the Magcargo. Now, I know this is a winnable matchup for Magcargo, but I have yet to play it, so I wasn't sure how this would actually work out. The opponent is going to build up to Power Whip. I probably should shield the first move here, but I decided to no shield. And I think from here, see, now they could just go Body Slam. It's like such a weird spot. It doesn't KO, but it puts us in this really weird spot. So I go for Overheat, and they actually no shield, which I was shocked to say the least, because they could have kept Medicham away from the Sylveon, but they actually decided to no shield right there and put their faith in the Wigglytuff. I think their logic is that Magcargo, being one of the more difficult counters to Wigglytuff, we probably wouldn't have a second one, and if it's Talonflame, then obviously they're in a tough spot regardless. So fortunately for us, it did work out. We're going to shield up the Wigglytuff here, commit to the farm down, double shield if need to, and just throw this Moonblast at the Medicham. And you guys already know Moonblast is going to be overkill right here. Is it going to be enough to KO? Bang! There it is, Medicham getting taken out. Overkill for sure. We take that game. Hopping into the next battle. Can we pull out the 4-1 set? It's going to be pretty rough with this lead right here. Magcargo in the lead, swapping out into our Electrode. Opponent is staying in. I'm going to throw the Discharge right here. And they're still staying in, so I'm probably going to shield this up in case it is the Overheat. And it's a Rock Tomb. So I actually didn't shield, which is a little bit crazy, but a big call right there. We actually survive. They come in with the Wigglytuff. Wow, I really thought we would shield there, but I guess I was in a better state of mind in the moment during these battles. And I think right here I'm going to shield and actually commit to the farm down. Now in hindsight, that might be the wrong play, because we're going to go well over 100 energy here, which doesn't really benefit us too much. But Medicham comes back in, going to throw the Overheat, and then swap out into the Sylveon. And here comes the Magcargo. So things aren't looking too good right here. I am going to no shield, making a huge call there on the Rock Tomb once again. Psyshock may get a shield, to be honest, from the opponent, which it does. And these charms are going to add up, but unfortunately they should get to 2 moves here from all of these Incinerates. I do sneak in the move there, but if they're at 2 moves, this game's basically over. But I think they actually over-tapped, because I'm pretty sure they were at the move, which means Overheat's coming through. Bang! There it is. Medicham getting taken out. Able to pull off the 4-1 set there against a Magcargo lead in the last match. Absolutely insane battles, and pretty impressed with the performance of this team. So those were the battles in the Love Cup with our first team of Sylveon, Electrode, and Magcargo. I think Electrode is definitely one of the best safe switches in this meta. And the way this team is set up to work, you're going to try and lure out the fighting type so that Sylveon could come back in, farm down, even if it's a poison type lead, potentially get a Psyshock off, force a shield, and then hope Magcargo could close out the match. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.